Alright, this is the quarterfinals. A pretty big matchup for the quarterfinals. BikeRush versus Shoktrepet. But, that's just how it is. That's how the brackets have been dealt. They have been randomly done, I do believe. I'm pretty sure Gwaspari randomly seeded them. So, BikeRush over here in the bottom right corner of the map. Tiberium Rift with Steel Talons. And it is Shoktrepet as purple. I thought he normally picks cyan, but apparently he's purple today. Oh, I got cyan as observer. There you go. But, that obviously doesn't affect them. They could have picked their colour. You cannot pick your colour as an observer. You just get given one randomly once the game starts. So Steel Talons mirror, we're probably going to see a lot of mammoths, if I had to guess. If it goes to the late game anyway, it might not get there. We might actually see... Oh, it'll probably be a lot of pit bulls early game. Is that 5 rifles? He's got 5 rivals down the middle. This is actually going to go in Shoktrepet's favour. He's only built 2. He sent 1 to the top, and he sent 1 into that garrison, which BikeRush was probably hoping to actually take himself and focus down that spike, but instead he's now got 5 rifles with not a hell of a lot to compete with down the middle. So, a nice early lead for Shoktrepet there, but obviously it's not game-ending. I mean, he has spent $900 more on scouts than Shoktrepet did, so it's going to maybe stall him out a little bit at the start of the game, but not the end of the world for BikeRush, obviously. And he's obviously going to do that really annoying thing. He's probably going to build like 3 foxholes in a ring around this power plant and just force Shoktrepet to use the repair tool on that for quite some time. So we are going to have to see how BikeRush just annoys Shoktrepet with these. The scout from Shoktrepet's gone right into that corner. He doesn't have much eyes on the map. So again, if BikeRush was going for any type of early Orca rush, he would be in a bit of trouble. Now obviously with the Steel Talons mirror, we aren't going to see that same sort of build that we see where it's sonic emitters and a Marv, because, well, they don't have sonic emitters. And they don't have a very good Marv. So here we go. It's going to be 4 foxholes here, man. So frustrating. Well, one of them doesn't get dug, but he's going to put them in. So he's got 5 rifles here shooting at this power plant. This power plant will drop quite quickly with 5 riflemen shooting at it. Yeah, he's already got to drop the repair tool down. He has to power micro to keep his watchtower up. So annoying from BikeRush. And he's going to make these 5 rifles pay for themselves with how much he's forced out to build. Here, Shoktrepet to deal with these foxholes. MCV redeploys for BikeRush. 5 harvesters out. 5 harvesters out for Shoktrepet as well. Had to repower up his ref, which means the watchtower is powered down for some time here, letting these rifles continue to put out the damage. It's down to almost 50% here already, that power plant. So, and again, we're going to see this MRT rocket play from BikeRush, and then it's probably going to be pit bulls to follow up. So he's really bringing these this rocket play into the meta. Actually going for the blue Tiberium here is Shoktrepet. Has he got anything in that MRT? Why can't you tell? That's really annoying, isn't it? I think I can tell if I switch to his view.
Our base is under attack.
He's got a rifle and 2 rockets. There you go. So he's got a little bit of anti-infantry in with that group. One of the foxholes has been cleared up, but he's left his harvester all on its own here, and if BikeRush sees this, he could be able to pick this off really easily. You've got 2 rocket squads worth of damage. You've got pit bulls out, and his harvester is moving to the middle, and yeah, he's realised Shoktrepet has no defense for this because he's had to send his pit bulls up here to deal with those foxholes. Second war factory is actually down for Shoktrepet, so he's looking to be aggressive with a lot of pit bulls here, but he's going to lose his harvester at the blue Tiberium. BikeRush isn't going to get a lot of blue Tiberium. He's going to come back and take that last half a crystal before he goes back home, so he'll get a little bit more than he would have hoped for, but obviously he doesn't get a full load because Shoktrepet had taken half of the field for himself. Now, pit bulls aren't overly good versus this MRT pit bull combination that BikeRush is sending in. He's actually just going to go and counter-attack with the pit bulls he does have and probably try and defend with Titans. Yeah, first Titan is out here. Watchtower comes down, power plant block. And he needs another Titan up at that main field, otherwise this could be trouble for Shoktrepet when those forces move to his main field. He's going to probably get a crush off on one of these MRTs. Oh no, BikeRush does micro away just in time, but the issue is there are frontline repairs here for BikeRush as well. The pit bulls have made their way into the base here for Shoktrepet, but there's rocket squads here, a watchtower, and pit bulls coming to reinforce. He'll probably get 1 harvester, and that's probably all he will get. BikeRush in the meantime is really causing issues for Shoktrepet here, pulling that harvester off the line. He didn't quite lose it, so that's good for Shoktrepet. Didn't lose another harvester there. He did pick off this harvester, but he was forced to retreat back down to the main. BikeRush is making another run for that blue Tiberium. But Shoktrepet has been able to force him away. Didn't repair that out of heavy damage mode, but that's okay. This watchtower could probably get sold off, and so can these ones here. Might be able to pick off one MRT in the retreat. Yeah, I think he'll get it. Is BikeRush going to de-garrison? No, he probably didn't realise that it had got caught there. Foxhole here, picking away at a Harvester. Nothing too serious. The last of the Pitbulls have been cleaned up. And BikeRush, yeah, he's gone. He's turned that Harvester around. Didn't want to go for the blue tip again. And now there's a Pitbull attack coming from the north side of the map here. Second refinery is down for Shoktrepet, so he's doing quite well. He's produced another Harvester to send down to the main field, or the second field has the most Tiberium on it at the moment. Here come the Pitbulls from the north side of the map. They have taken a little bit of damage here, so one watchtower will slowly pick away at them, and there are Pitbull reinforcements here for Shoktrepet. He'll pick off a Pitbull, he won't lose any Harvesters. Did force that one off the line, but he gets it back to work, so good micro there by Shoktrepet. Rocket squads are here now, though, and that's really annoying because they do quite a bit of damage, and obviously these Pitbulls aren't going to be able to kill them. Takes that Pitbull down heavy damage mode. And we're actually going to see Orcas here from BikeRush, and we're going to see Orcas from, no, that doesn't look like Orcas. That might be Hammerheads, actually. Yeah, it looks like he's going to go for Rocket Hammerheads, which is actually not a bad choice, especially considering he's going for Orcas. BikeRush is going for Orcas. Crane is down, Tier 2 is down, and it looks like he's going to go for a fast third here is BikeRush. Shoktrepet trying to find a way in, but there's just too many Titans around on the map now. And Titans are really good versus Pitbulls, to be fair. They're really frustrating to try and deal with. That Rocket Squad's probably going to jump into that garrison. That would be a good choice for BikeRush there. Jump into that garrison. Give that Rocket Squad a nice little bunker to protect itself. Shoktrepet will see that this MCV has made a move, but he runs into some more Titans. Oh, excuse me. And he's forced to retreat. Crane is down. Tier 3 comes down. So BikeRush is up to Tier 3. Have we got a Tier 3 down for Shoktrepet? Not quite. It's on its way, though. Hammerheads are out. The Orcas are making a move across the map. Has he seen them? The Rocket Squads are now moving into position. I think that's an AA battery getting produced as well. But I think 3 Harvesters will probably go down here. Especially, yeah, that one was already damaged. Did still have to use the 8 Rockets for it. That might actually save him here. He might be able to... Yeah, he only loses 2. So that's nice for Shoktrepet. He only loses the 2. Oh, he doesn't quite get that last Orca, so he loses two Harvesters. As you can see, we've got the 4K mod on, so there are lights coming out of those Hammerheads on Tiberium Rift. Refinery is down on the third field for Shoktrepet. No, for BikeRush, and these Titans have been caught out. They're actually shooting at a Rifleman, which isn't ideal. Railguns is pretty much a third of the way done. Oh my god, he hasn't started his... BikeRush will probably go for Firehawks now too. Yeah, Firehawks are on the field, which is a really big issue for Shoktrepet. He's probably taken too long to actually use these Hammerheads, and now BikeRush has established himself with Firehawks. He's building more. He's got an AA battery in his main field. Double power plant drop there. They're pretty much on top of each other, but that's just because of the small delay we have with me and Shoktrepet being so far apart from each other. He's already got double ref established there. He's got Hawks out. Railguns is almost done. Shoktrepet's a long way behind in this game. His Hammerheads are going to try and make a move here. There's Rockets here as well. There's 1 Firehawk, 2 Firehawks, and an AA battery. So, yeah, these Hammerheads aren't going to be able to achieve too much, unfortunately. He does pick off that Pitbull. He could maybe try and rush down the airfield, but it doesn't matter. He's actually going to lose that last Hammerhead to the Rockets from the Mammoth tank. He's to transition his Harvesters. He's only got 2 Harvesters on this field right now. He has been able to swoop in and take that blue Tiberium. Mortars has been upgraded. No Railguns though still. He's actually deciding to go for Behemoth instead here, Shoktrepet. So an interesting choice there. He does still have 1 Hammerhead alive. Slowly picking away at that Mammoth tank. But obviously he's not going to achieve too much with that. With the Firehawks out and about. They're looking for that last Hammerhead to knock out of the sky. I'm surprised he hasn't gone for his own Firehawks in the meantime. Maybe he doesn't have the money for it. Pitbulls are still roaming around the map, but he actually might be able to catch out BikeRush's Firehawks here. Yeah, he does. He's going to get one of them for sure. One of them does go down. Does he have Stratifighter? No, he didn't invest in Stratifighter. And these Titans are making a move across the map. Look at them. They look sick, don't they? They look really cool. The Orcas are also here flying around. The Pitbulls could probably pick them off. Mammoth Tank is here to defend the Behemoth as well, but the Orcas are probably just going to come in and pick off that Behemoth, to be honest. If BikeRush identifies that it's there, yeah, he's just going to walk in and start picking off that Behemoth, and that's really annoying for BikeRush. And this last Hammerhead will get dispatched as well. And this Mammoth Tank isn't going to be able to stand up to the Titans with Railguns. Not a chance in hell. Even if it had Railguns, there's too many Titans here for that Mammoth to deal with. Another one comes out on the front line here for Shoktrepet. Not ideal. He needed that behemoth as well to start to defend this army. Adaptive armor is done. He doesn't have railguns. He's not even close to getting it either. He's only got 3 harvesters on this field. He seems to just be a long way behind economically. The Pitbulls have made their way into the backline of BikeRush's base here, though. All of the refineries have been sold off on this base. He's actually going to be able to splash down these power plants really nicely with the Pitbull mortars. Forces off a lot of... Oh, there's a lot of mammoth tanks, so he's caught right in the corner here. He's not going to be able to escape from this. Yeah, look at this. Too many railgun weapons around. That mammoth tank must have been destroyed. And now there's another mammoth tank on the field. Hoping to clean up these units before the war factory goes down. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get that. Now, he should actually, yeah. But he does save the war factory, but he's a long way behind. BikeRush has even gone for a Marv, which is a weird choice in a Talons mirror. Marvs really aren't that good in a Talons mirror, but that's what he's decided to go for. Railguns is about halfway done for Shoktrepet, but he's a long way behind. But if he's able to hold for a little bit longer, he's got so many units. I mean, so much Tiberium under his control, but these harvesters are just continuing to go down. He's going to be down to 5 harvesters. One of the orcas does get picked off. There's actually another harvester here. So he has been taking the blue tip by the looks of it. But look at this army from BikeRush. He's got 7 mammoth tanks, a bunch of titans, a Marv. You know, and that Marv, it's not going to do a lot of DPS, but it's going to tank a lot of shots with that quad engineer. But you got Behemoth out for Shoktrepet. He is now building more harvesters from there. He's got 3 mammoth tanks up here, but BikeRush isn't really splitting up his force this time. He's just going all guns blazing straight down the middle. The other issue with building Behemoth in a Talons mirror is that he can be shockwaved. BikeRush's army can't be shockwaved. You can shockwave the Marv, but that's it. The rest of the army can just switch on adaptive armor, and you're not going to get hit by shockwave anymore. These mammoth tanks are going to try and flank BikeRush's army by the looks of things here. But I think Shoktrepet's in a really bad position. I can't see him holding off this army. He just doesn't seem to have the units. Another mammoth tank does come out. The Behemoth are probably going to be what wins or loses him the fight, to be honest. If the Behemoth are able to do a lot of damage without getting hit, they could win him the fight, but there's more. There's hammerheads coming in as well. He's got hammerheads and orcas. The hammerheads are going to come in and clean up all of that infantry. The Behemoth Arch going to try and hold the line. The orcas are making their way in. They actually show after the mammoth tank. The mammoth tanks from Shoktrepet are actually hitting the army from the back. Shockwave artillery comes down right on top of the war factory and the Behemoth. The Behemoth does get locked down, but the mammoth tanks from Shoktrepet are trying to flank from the back. But yeah, look at this. It's going to be the end of the game, I think. Supersonic comes in, hits almost all of the hammerheads, takes almost all of them out, but ends up getting none. This Marv, it just tanks so much damage when it's got quad engineer here. Yeah, look at that. It's just not going to be the day for Shoktrepet, and it's GG. And BikeRush will take a 1-0 lead in the series. Shoktrepet, unfortunately, goes down. And, yeah, he just... Yeah, look at the eco. He was just behind from the start. He lost that blue tip harvester and then never really recovered from it. And the orcas probably hit about here, and you can see he just never was able to catch up again. So it's 1-0 for BikeRush. Alright, so in the south of the map as the Cyan Blackhand, he's got his colour this time. It is Shoktrepet, and BikeRush in the north as the Red Blackhand. And, yes, we're on Tournament Dust Bowl, no poker edition. Obviously, so we've got the spikes in the corners and an Emp spike in the middle. Now, of course, Blackhand mirrors in history have typically been fast, aggressive, sort of balls to the wall. No one sits back on their heels. It's all out aggression, which is what we sort of like to see nowadays, because we don't see much of it in the current meta. It's a sort of a sit back until you've got your tech up and then go from there. But in the old days, Blackhand was the meta, and it was all-out attack, flame rushes and bike rushes and reckoner rushes and infantry openings and all sorts of good stuff. And that was before all of the nerfs came in. The Cabals got cheaper or got weaker, the reckoner got nerfed, and the Blackhand strength and then clicks got nerfed as well. So, and slowly but surely, Blackhand was sort of carved out of the meta by all of the nerfs. So are we going to see rushes from either of these guys? It's a buggy from BikeRush into a harvester, and a harvester from Shoktrepet. And both are going refinery, so we're actually not going to see any aggression. We saw from BikeRush in the series versus Space, he went for a flame rush into all-in. But this game, we're not seeing that. It is a buggy from BikeRush, harvesters from Shoktrepet. He's actually then gone for a buggy. and kept it at home. That's an interesting choice. And then he's followed up with a bike. So, not too sure what this is from Shoktrepet, to be honest. But, yeah, that's what he's decided to go for. Where's the buggy from BikeRush? There is a buggy from BikeRush. It's gone back home. Okay. So, and then he's following up with some bikes as well. Shoktrepet does have 2 bikes out. It's going to be a third, I imagine, yeah. And he's got that Raider buggy killing off some of the scouts here. But the bikes have been spotted. I imagine BikeRush has seen them. And now you've got 2 bikes out for BikeRush. A third one probably coming out now. And Shoktrepet's gone for a 4th bike. So it's going to be a little bit of early aggression. But they're sort of both sitting back, not really wanting to move out. Obviously knowing that if you actually go to the opponent's side of the map, you'll probably end up being outnumbered. A 5th bike comes out for Shoktrepet. A 5th bike will come out for bike. And it looks like they're both going back for harvesters now. No, BikeRush is continuing to build more bikes. He knows that he's going to be on the defensive here. BikeRush sending his bikes out to the left-hand side. Where's the Raider buggy for Shoktrepet? It's actually behind his bikes. That's a bit of a mistake there. Oh, he's going to probably run straight into them here. The bikes are going to start to fire at each other. 2 bikes go down for Shoktrepet. Only 1 goes down. 3 bikes go down for Shoktrepet. What a disastrous start to that engagement. The buggy is going to chase down, following with all of these bikes. The split fire for Shoktrepet was just a little bit unlucky. And now he's going to be forced onto the defensive. 3 harvesters still out. He's actually got an expansion, though. BikeRush has gone for an expansion. In the meantime, Shoktrepet's gone for a 4th harvester and a 2nd war factory. So, different playstyles so far from these guys. BikeRush probably getting a little bit disadvantaged by the buildings here, but looks like he's still winning the fight anyway, just because of his numerical advantage. But I think Shoktrepet is going to be able to do enough to hold. And BikeRush isn't going to be able to break through there. The 2nd war factory down for Shoktrepet. He's going to want to take advantage of that while he has the numerical advantage now. He needs to move out and do some damage to BikeRush. And here we go. He's going to start to move out now. BikeRush still only with the 1 war factory. He's actually going for another harvester and he's going for a barrack. So he's going to have laser turrets here to defend. And of course that has sort of what killed Nod in their early aggression in the recent meta, is that these laser turrets are so difficult to dislodge. He places them right in this awkward position. He is just going to go for that harvester. I don't know if he's actually going to be able to get it. There's still a lot of DPS here from BikeRush. He's going to move around the refinery as well as he can, but Shoktrepet will be able to close in and get it, but he's going to probably lose all of his bikes for it. He's down to 3 bikes. One of them has just come in as well. Yeah, he's going to lose all of his bikes just to get 1 harvester. I'm not sure if that's too worth it, to be honest. BikeRush still has 5 harvesters out. Shoktrepet's on 4. Has got an expansion up. Builds another harvester. So they're both on the same amount of economy. No, BikeRush is actually 1 harvester down. Not anymore. He's almost got his 2nd refinery up. Shoktrepet also looks like he's working on his 2nd refinery. And both players are sort of just going back into that eco game after that little bit of a frantic opening. Nothing too out of the ordinary, but yes, in the end, quite a nice display from both guys so far. Micro hasn't been on point from either side, but you know, you come to expect that nowadays. It's not like these guys are training 24/7 like we used to see back in the 2014, 2015 days. You know, you'd see BikeRush play Leaf and Technique and Phoenix, and everyone was just so on point. Nowadays, it's not quite up to that standard. But that's okay, we still get some really good games from these guys. BikeRush and Shoktrepet, obviously both probably top 4 at the moment. You'd probably say the top 4 are Shoktrepet, Futurama, BikeRush, and Drive. And they all sort of take series off each other. I'm not sure if Shoktrepet's ever beat Bike in a series, but he's definitely capable. Definitely capable. If BikeRush has an off day or Shoktrepet has one of his really good days, he can beat Bike. There's no doubt about that. Looks like we're actually going to see infantry out from Shoktrepet here. No, this is BikeRush, sorry. And Shoktrepet is going for Scorpion tanks. So, different ideas here. We're probably going to see multi-MCV from BikeRush here, I imagine. Yeah, that looks like a 2nd MCV on the way. So, this is quite a normal build for a Black Hand Mirror. You've got the double MCV with the infantry upgrades. You sort of hold yourself out, and then you just sort of go and move in with the obelisks as your main frontal force. The bikes sitting at home still. There's actually a Black Hand Squad there. Did he build that from the barracks? I think he actually built that from the barracks. So you don't see that every day. Flame Tank's coming out now as well. That Flame Tank has been spotted by Shoktrepet, but is he actually going to kill it? No, he didn't kill it. So he shot at it, but he didn't realize it was there. So that's a bit dangerous. This MCV is on the move out Tier 3 is down for BikeRush. Has he got an obelisk queued? No, he doesn't have an obelisk queued just yet. The infantry's moving out across the map as well. This flame tank, oh man, he hasn't... He shot at it, but he didn't actually notice it was there. It was just the units were rallied in that direction, so he shot at it naturally. Obelisk comes down. The Scorpion tanks will be forced away. Fanatics are coming out as well. No, he's just going to keep going in. Radar jamming missile comes off, and here comes the flame tank. It's going to get a refinery straight away. Does Shoktrepet know it's there? He does. He knows it's there now. That's okay, so he shouldn't lose too much. He'll lose a refinery, that's for sure. And if the catalyst comes down and hits the other one, that could almost be GG already. That's just such a devastating blow this early in the game. He's going to probably get a harvester here. Catalyst does come down, hits the ref. 2 harvesters go down to heavy damage mode. Is there a second MCV out for Shoktrepet? No, it doesn't look like. He's spamming Blackhand squads. I'm not sure what this is about. Flame tank is going to try and move its way in, but there is an obelisk there. He doesn't want to go in there with the flame tank. Oh my god, he's going to get it blown up. Yeah, he loses it to the Fanatic. You shouldn't really have that happen. The bikes are trying to pick off the spike on the right-hand side. Seed tip comes in. MCV has been unpacked, but isn't moving just yet. He needs a refinery down desperately. Refinery does come down. Shredder turrets and obelisks will probably be the name of the game for BikeRush throughout here with the help of that infantry. Yeah, you got supercharged particle beam. No, charged particle beam. Not supercharged. They're just charged. They're not supercharged. Tip spike will go down soon. BikeRush obviously losing a little bit of money by being forced to repair it, but obviously he's still gaining money while it's alive. And yeah, these Blackhand scores, they actually don't do very well versus Cabals that have the Charged Particle Beam and Black Disciple upgrade. They sort of do get destroyed quite badly, and Rocket Squads also do quite a bit of damage versus them in this many numbers. The bikes, no, that's Scorpion tanks actually moving in along the top side. The chem plant has been sold off. Obelisk comes down again, gets a Scorp snipe, and then BikeRush is forced away. So turret comes down. Scorpion tank's fighting a battle it's never going to win. Redeemer on the way. The MCV from BikeRush hasn't been able to make its way across the map to Shoktrepet's third just yet. So Purifier comes out. Redeemer and Refinery down. Secondary forced to place it there because if he places them next to each other, he's obviously at risk of getting double clicked. And here comes the click, comes down, hits. Oh, he could have got the harvesters, but probably didn't. Maybe couldn't see the harvesters were right there next door. Here comes the Purifier. Actually going to start flaming down this infantry, so that's a nice little win there. Redeemer is on the way out though. MCV making a move. Purifiers also coming out. This harvester needs to get back to work. Chem plant has been sold off. There's another Blackhand squad. This Purifier is chasing down this infantry into the corner. And these Scorpion tanks have been forced back. So BikeRush looks like he's in a really good position here yet again. But Shoktrepet's not out of it yet. If he's able to establish an expansion, he'll be okay. But that's a big if. He doesn't want to lose these Purifiers to this Redeemer either. That would be really bad. You don't want to be throwing away these type of units, and he's going to throw it away, unfortunately, because BikeRush is going to use the Rage Gen, and he's going to lose that Purifier. He's going to try and run away, but I don't imagine he'll be able to get away. Yeah, BikeRush is just going to shoot at it now, although he may actually just walk out of range. Yeah, he is. He's just going to walk out of range. Does he have Emp Coils? If he could get some Emp Coils out and BikeRush overcommitted, he could maybe actually kill that Redeemer, but not going to be the case. BikeRush being forced back here. Purifying Flame is on the way for BikeRush. Second War Factory again. And it's going to be Purifier spam by the looks of things from BikeRush. Shoktrepet is already on the Purifier spam train. He's got a lot of harvesters, doesn't he? He needs to get refs down on this field as soon as possible. I'd be cancelling all my production and just worrying about getting these refineries set up. The MCV from BikeRush is making its move across the map now. But to be honest, he does have enough Purifiers to probably hold that. Redeemer facility is down and starting to build. If BikeRush sees this though, he may be able to move in, jump on it, and actually take that facility down. Second MCV slowly making its crawl across the map. Where is this guy's refineries, man? He needs refs. He needs refs over here. He needs harvesters back over here. Shoktrepet. I know he went for the Redeemer facility, but I don't think that should have been high on the priority list, to be completely honest. BikeRush has given away that he is making this move. The Shredder Turret has come down, but there's 4 Purifiers here. He should be able to just walk in and flame down that MCV whenever it gets in range. Even if there's an Obelisk drop straight away, he can just flame that down, and then it doesn't really matter. Yeah, the Obelisk gets dropped down. Yeah, BikeRush just sells the MCV. He knows he's not going to be able to get anything done. He does actually drop an Obelisk to pick off these 2 Scorps, and then he'll probably sell the Obelisk off as well. He's not going to be able to kill anything with that. The Engineer is probably going to get away. But yeah, here it goes, and he's going to lose the facility. He doesn't have the money to actually produce that Redeemer because he's not built a ref over here. That Obelisk does go down. The Purifiers here, they could actually make a move up there, you know. And oh no, this is devastating. He's going to get every single one of these purifiers crushed. No, he does get control of them back just in time, but it probably doesn't matter because the Redeemer is probably going to be able to still get the crushes off. There's more purifiers coming in from BikeRush as well. Another purifier comes out of that War Factory. Purifying Flame is done as well. And BikeRush is just sort of walking in with these purifiers and the Redeemer. But slowly but surely, the Redeemer is actually losing its fight here with these two purifiers because of the damage from the flame weapons. These purifiers from BikeRush slowly coming in and crushing this area from Shoktrepet. And the purifiers from the north of the map are going to try and come in and help. There's an obelisk drop right on there. And the purifiers are going to start to go down. BikeRush has to be careful though. If he does lose this fight badly, Shoktrepet could find his way back into this game because of the husks. He is going to be forced to retreat though with these fuel purifiers coming in. And there's a flame squad over there doing some damage, but BikeRush would really not want to lose this Redeemer. That could be really bad. There's more purifiers here that are in heavy damage range. He's got a lot of purifiers coming from this this western base though. And yeah, Shoktrepet knows he can't commit to that. He still hasn't reproduced a double refinery up here. He needs to get double refinery, man. Oh dear, nuke comes down. That's a fake nuke. Not really sure why he would do that. BikeRush is definitely going to know that's not real. You know, there's no way BikeRush would think that's not real. Look at that. Look at the purifying flame that you can see that on there. Normally that doesn't change color. I'm pretty sure that that's a leaf. Leaf has changed that so that they turn. You can see the difference here that the normal flame is red, where BikeRushes have that blue sort of tint to them. Flame squad up here still causing some issues for BikeRush. Second refinery finally comes down. And to be fair, if BikeRush doesn't attack soon, he is going to give Shoktrepet some time to rebuild his army up and get a Redeemer out for himself. He did lose that fight quite badly. He's actually transitioning into mass Emp buggies, which is probably a really good choice. Does he have Tibcore as well? He could maybe mix in some Tibcore bikes and try and attack around the sides, or even now that he has Blue Flame, move in with... Oh my god, he's put his Redeemer there again! Shoktrepet, what are you doing, man? He's just going to lose that. Oh no, that's a terrible choice by Shoktrepet. Put it back here at least. I mean, I know your tier 3's there anyway, so you'd probably lose. Oh man, no, he's dead. He's dead. He's dead. He's dead. I can't believe he placed that there. Emp buggies are going to come rushing in. They're going to emp the facility, and they're going to emp all of the purifiers. You would imagine. Oh my god, BikeRush, he kind of messed that up, but I don't think it matters. I think he knows he can just sort of walk through here. Emp buggies finally getting in range, and yeah, that's going to be it for Shoktrepet. He's going to go down here in this game. GG comes down from Shoktrepet. And BikeRush, yeah, pretty clinical, but Shoktrepet made a lot of poor decisions in that game, in my opinion. But BikeRush goes up 2-0 in the series. We now have a Reaper 17 mirror for the next game. Number 3 of the series, we are on the map Tournament Highlands, and it is Shoktrepet. On the right hand side is Reaper 17. BikeRush is Reaper 17 on the left hand side, so this will be another probably quite passive game. We've sort of got the ultimate extremes at either ends here. You've sort of got Black Hand in here, which normally in mirrors are quite aggressive, and you sort of, you know, are at each other's throats. Then you got Talons and Reaper, which is sort of quite a defensive mirror play style. Now obviously we're probably going to see descents from both players. Please don't tell me Shoktrepet's not going to go descents. You need descents in a screen mirror. Early on, it's just vital to go Disintegrators, but maybe Shoktrepet feels he can do quite fine without them. But the issue is, he may lose his Tiberium spikes early in the match, and obviously BikeRush knows this. He's going to go for descents. His portal is still here, so BikeRush or Shoktrepet is sort of waiting. Is he going to build buzzers or his own descents? No, he's going to go for his own descents. BikeRush has gone for 5 descents, 1 buzzer, and he has taken his spikes. Shoktrepet's got his spikes, and he's gone for 2 Disintegrators so far. A third one coming out now. Looks like he's just going to try and build as many as BikeRush has to defend his spike, and then go from there. War Factory down. Is he going for a Shard Walker? No, it doesn't look like it. BikeRush is a little bit delayed. I'm not sure. Oh, he went double portal, of course. That's why he's delayed. And we've got 6 Disintegrators from Shoktrepet. So Shoktrepet is just going to try and win this fight. Although there's 4 buzzers coming up from the south here. He needs buzzers of his own, or he's not going to win this fight. With 4 buzzers mixed in. Oh my god, he's gone for another power plant. This is really weird from Shoktrepet to start. I don't like this, actually. Although BikeRush is only just making a start on his refinery as well. So we're going to see a really weird engagement here. Oh, BikeRush is going to win this decisively with the buzzers there. Oh no, BikeRush is going to win it decisively with the buzzers there. Oh, man. He didn't even kill a squad. There's still 5 squads there for BikeRush. Yeah, that was really bad for Shoktrepet. He didn't go for any buzzers, and that's really decisive in a fight like that. I mean, BikeRush had 4 buzzers and Shoktrepet had none. He did have an extra disintegrator, but look at that. He survived with almost all of his squads fully intact and with 2 buzzers. He lost 2 buzzers and a little bit of a squad in that whole engagement, and he gets a tip spike. He is now ahead. No, he's not. Because Shoktrepet's about to drop his refinery. BikeRush will be behind still. But, obviously, he's got a spike advantage, so it's sort of a... goes both ways. Shoktrepet is going to try and pick off some of the descents. BikeRush trying to split up to maybe try and surround the Shard Walker, but it looks like Shoktrepet's all over that. He is going to be able to focus down those disintegrators, no issues at all. And we're probably going to see fast tech from both players. I don't imagine it'll be a ref for BikeRush. Going for that bottom blue field, obviously knows that Shoktrepet isn't going to have a hell of a lot of units out on the map, but he is a long way ahead here. Like, BikeRush has only got 3 harvesters. Obviously, he's got a 4th going to the blue tip, but... you know, he's going to be able to pick off these descents eventually, maybe, although he is sort of trapped in a corner, so he doesn't want to walk around the corner right next to the hill. Yeah, good micro there from Shoktrepet. He knows that if he goes right around the hill... oh, he's going to do it now, though! Oh, but they do sort of stack up here, those disintegrators. They're going to get splashed down, yeah. Shoktrepet's controlling that really well. Dev Tank comes out for Shoktrepet. He probably doesn't, obviously he doesn't know, but BikeRush has gone for Seeker Tanks, which means this Dev Tank, if he just sort of sits it here, he's in a really good position here. Shoktrepet is in a really good position. He's also got a Corruptor out to keep the heals going, and the Mechapeds won't be too far behind. BikeRush has gone for a refinery. Oh, I don't know. I think this is looking really good for Shoktrepet. BikeRush is a long way behind here in the tech game, and normally you want to get those Mechapeds out as quickly as possible. The Tier 2 gets sold off as well. He's going for another building. What's he going for? He's going for a second war factory. Is he going to go all in? He might go all in, you know. BikeRush has moved down to the expansion. He probably realizes now that Shoktrepet's gone for this fast Tier 3. He's going for a Tier 2. He's probably going for another war factory or an airfield. It's going to be an airfield, yeah. And here comes the Mechapede. So, obviously, BikeRush is going to go Storm Riders. He needs to be... oh, he doesn't need... don't lose that mecha. Yeah, he doesn't lose the mecha. Good micro there by Shoktrepet so far. Looks like he's going to send these units down here to try and pick off the tib spikes, but Storm Riders are going to be the call of the day from BikeRush to try and deal with these Mechapeds. Excuse me. Now, Shoktrepet needs to identify this rather quickly, otherwise his whole army is going to get obliterated. He is actually building disc segments. He already knows he's building disc segments. You can tell if they have a little green dot on top of the segments there, it means they're shard mega segments, but those little purpley blue ones, they're disc segments, which means they are going to fire down those Storm Riders straight out of the sky. Disc segments in that many numbers are very good versus aircraft. And has he sold his MCV? No, he hasn't. He's moving it out now. There are Dev Tanks out here as well, and Dev Tanks are quite a good unit versus Mechapeds, especially when there's this much discs. He's gone for too many disc segments, and his micro is poor here. Micro is very poor here from Shoktrepet with those Mechapeds. And the disc segments are going to... I mean, they do a little bit of damage, but he's over-invested in them. And look, BikeRush is just not going to go for more aircraft. Look at this, he's got like another, he's got 2 full disc segments, he's got a couple of disc segments on this one, needs more shard mechas and needs to expand as well. Both tip spikes have been destroyed here by Shoktrepet, so he does take a spike lead back. But Tripod is out here, and if he's not going to be able to break through that with the charged Reaper Tripod with only 4 mechas, 2 of them being disc segments as well. It's not looking good for Shoktrepet. I thought he was in such a good position, but he over-invested on the disc segments. Over-invested on the disc segments. I mean, he stopped BikeRush from going Storm Riders, and he knows that, but now he's just fallen behind economically. He does have a spike lead, but that's it. He's taking the bottom blue field. He needs to... this is where he needs to realize he has map control and take both fields, and he's doing that now. He's sending a harvester to that top field. Stasis is out for BikeRush as well. Refinery does come down, so this is the thing. BikeRush is in the advantageous position, but he is losing the map control, and he is losing the blue Tiberium. So if Shoktrepet's able to keep control of the map with these Mechapeds for long enough, he will reap the benefits. This Storm Rider looks like it's going to go around the map trying to get a scout for BikeRush. That Oh my god, that harvester is going to go back to base, and the tripods are starting to be produced. Hexapod coming out. That's a weird choice again by BikeRush. I really don't like the Hexapod idea in a Reaper 17 mirror because it gets absolutely melted. If the Reaper tripod numbers are high, a Hexapod's not a good choice at all. Power plant comes down. And these Mechapedes are going to make their move to the south side of the map. There's actually a storm column here, just area denying them. And these tripods and disintegrators are making a move to the north so he can contain and take that blue Tiberium for himself. Tier 2 is back down for Shoktrepet. He does need to probably go for a portal and mix in some disintegrators with his army. It's really important in screen mirrors you do mix in disintegrators. Oh my god, that Storm Rider. Or Storm Column picks off that Mechapede in one hit. Hexapod is out for BikeRush as well. He's going to fill it up with Shock Troopers by the looks of things. And Shock Trooper doesn't have a hell of a lot of an army. He hasn't charged his tripods either, which is a really big mistake. He's taken too long to mine this Tib again. It seems like Shoktrepet's really struggled with his economy this series. BikeRush, does he have his tripods? I mean, he's not going to win this fight. He does use the thing there. He's actually going for Shock Troopers, which is an interesting choice. That Mechapede will finally take out, or the Mechapedes will finally take out that Storm Rider. But yeah, these Mechapedes are borderline, like, they're actually bad because of how many disc segments they have. I do wonder if he could sneak around the side here, maybe put some toxin segments on there and start taking out some buildings like flame tanks, like take out some easy killable buildings like the power plants and the stasis chamber. Hexapod's here with the help of the tripods. Shock Troopers are coming out. Shoktrepet needs to move that drone ship to the middle, and he probably needs to make a move soon because if BikeRush is able to establish himself in the middle here, he's going to be in a stunning position. Oh, these Mechapedes have been cornered in here, but there's two tripods away from the main army. BikeRush needs to be careful here because, yeah, Shoktrepet's going to make a move, and with two tripods away from the main fight, that could be decisive. We're going to need to see a really good stasis from both sides here, and particularly from Shoktrepet. That's a nice start. That's a really good stasis, actually, for Shoktrepet because most of the Shock Troopers are outside of the stasis. BikeRush doesn't have a hell of a lot of anti-infantry here. He needs to focus down that Shardwalker. Use your Shock Troopers to kill the tripods, man. Why are you shooting at the descent? Kill the tripods, Shoktrepet. Kill the tripods, man. Infestation comes down. A really clever choice. Does get quickly focused down, but Shoktrepet, oh my god, he's wasted so much time. I still think he should win this fight, to be honest, but oh my god, he's made it hard for himself. Blue Shard is done for BikeRush, though, and the Hexapod's actually paying for itself due to the Shock Troopers being produced by Shoktrepet. Oh my god, man. Shoktrepet has absolutely thrown this game. Absolutely thrown this game. He's had the Shock Troopers shooting at disintegrators, and by the time he finally started shooting back at the tripods, the stasis had already worn off. He's going to continue to fight here because BikeRush is running out of anti-infantry. He probably is going to be able to take out this Hexapod, to be fair. This Hexapod probably will go down. No, he does phase it. No one needs to go take that blue Tiberium. He's running out of war factories. And this is the point now where BikeRush can just spam Shardwalkers and he's going to be fine. He's got shields, he's got blue shards. It's going to be really hard for Shoktrepet now. He needs to realize that and stop producing Shock Troopers. He needs to go back for his own tripods. Force BikeRush to build a hell of a lot of anti-infantry and then go back into those high tier anti-gunwalker, anti-everything units, which is obviously the tripod. But it's obviously too late now. He's going to lose this game. He completely threw the middle engagement. He should have won that quite convincingly, but he wasted all of his Shock Troopers' time shooting at disintegrators. And he could have killed 3 tripods before BikeRush was out of the stasis. In the end, he killed none. BikeRush is probably feeling pretty lucky that Shoktrepet just refused to micro correctly there. And Shoktrepet calls the GG. That'll be the end of the series. BikeRush will win 3-0. And he will move on to the next round to play Lamas.